Hello, hello, hello. It is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Creator Relate. How is everyone this evening? I'm trying to get situated, y'all. I am going to wait to tell you that part, so because I know I'm going to get fussed at. So, well, I mean, it happens. Forgive my lighting. I have stuff all around me. I don't know if you remember seeing this before I get started. I'm going to show you this. This is my bonnet. I don't know if I was working on it or if I actually finished it when I showed it to you. And hello, Jamaican mommy. How are you? So this is my bonnet. I did finish it. I have to watch how I say words that end in SH followed by it. So I try to separate them. But this is my bonnet. What's different about mine? I have ties. I like to tie mine. So I made ties. I was going to be working on that this evening with you all to show you how I did it, at least the beginning of it. But we had choir rehearsal today. So your girl is a little tired, but we're still going to make the best of this. We're going to play with the light until we get it right. I'm looking up at the TV to see. I think that's a little bit better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like it's dark in here. I don't know. But this is a corn purse. I am going all out of line. First of all, welcome. Welcome to Create and Relate. Welcome to the den. I am so happy that you're here. I'm excited that you're here. First of all, I want to thank everyone for the 426 subscribe. That's right. You heard me right. You heard me right. 426. Oh, Jesus, it's hot too. But 426 subscribers. I did not check the watch hours, but I know that we're over 1,400. So we got a little less than 1,600 to go before we reach that 3,000. Shooting for it, y'all. Shooting for it. Pew, pew. Okay? Yes, definitely shooting for it. And I want to remind you when you come in to please hit those thumbs. Yeah. Hit those thumbs. Share my videos. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. And when you do, and you see that little bell, be sure you hit the one with the dimples so that you'll always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. Y'all, dropping fresh new content is the key here. Wait a minute, I gotta back out of that and back out of that and back out of that and that. All right. Now, for the sips and the whips. Sips. Y'all, I had a double dose of tea today because we had choir rehearsal. So I know that I have to drink a lot of fluid. My doctor and I had a long talk. I'm leading into the health and stuff now. Um, and she said that my renal number was 5. That's a little low. She's not really happy about that. Hello, Green Journey. How are you? So happy to see you here. But my renal number was 5. The magic number is 7 for me. So it's not that I've been drinking the wrong things, which I thought it was because I consume a lot of coffee. She said the coffee is fine as long as I drink equal amounts of water, but I'm not drinking enough. So what it is that I'm teetering on dehydration, which explains a lot of the fatigue, a lot of the muscle pain, and so that's where we are there. From 2 weeks ago to this week, I gained a pound, which I thought it was a lot more, and I'm happy to see that it was just a pound. Thank you, thank you. But on the scale of 1 to 10, how does Kitty feel today? I would have to give Kitty a 9. Yeah, it's upgrading, y'all. I'm feeling better and better. I did a little bit of walking today. Um, I even went to a store with my daughter. Even though I didn't walk around in the store, I did stand for a while. Of course, walking from the vehicle to the church for choir rehearsal, walking into the store and out from the store. Um, there was more walking, but I did more walking than usual, and I'm here. I'm tired, but I'm here. So that's the biggest thing. Um, Now, the whips. I got a lot of them. I have a lot of whips, y'all. You see the colors are changing in here, which means I'm using this. And I'm super excited about that. I did myself good with that. This has gone no further. I used that big ball of green pea yarn. It was the red heart um, pound that I got from Dollar supposed to be Dollar Tree, and it got me probably I would have to say maybe if I divide it into eighths, I would say maybe 5/8 of the way. I'm a little more than half, but not quite a third. So 5/8 of the way. I did do the it's not like the granny. I actually did, see if you can really see it here. I did like 4 rows of open blocks. This is the wrong corner. Let's try this corner. I didn't want to take it all the way loose, but I did. So 4 rows of the open blocks, 4 rows of the open blocks, then two. And I continued that pattern throughout. And between, to separate the opening blocks, I did the closed block in the middle. So it's not open close. And this is not like the ones that they're showing that look like the kind of, I'm not going to say the granny square because this looks more like the granny square to me than that one does. But it's like the opening every other row and every other column so that the openings don't touch at all. This one, I would do one complete row closed in and one complete row completely open. I didn't skip on that second row where you do the totally closed in row and then you do the um, open, close, open, close, open, close. I didn't do that. I did totally closed and then totally open, then totally closed. So that's what that one got. Now, I'm so glad Marsha is here. And for those of you who don't know, Blind Stitches is Marsha. This is the Cardi that you hear me talking about so much. This was actually Blind Stitches' idea. She said to me that she wanted to collab with a cardigan, and I'm the one who named it, but this was her baby. This is her idea. And she laid out the rules that it had to be a cardigan, it had to be done in panels, and it had to have ribbing. So, and I added that it has to be finished by midnight of December 1st. Photos all to my email. You can find that practically everywhere. But send those to me. You can also go to Facebook under Create and Relate. Yeah, you can go to that page and drop your photos, or we can share those. We can share those. But these are my 5 panels. I did 3 in the back. I did the teal, the varsity yellow, and the orange. The teal and varsity yellow are Big Twist. The orange is Mainstay. This beautiful green right here is Mainstay as well. And this red is Mainstay. So it's mostly Mainstay. I started with my purple sleeve. That's what I have the most trouble with is the sleeves, unless it's a hexi cardigan. Hmm. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, I do, and I'm crocheting all the time. Wait till you see what I started tonight. Ah, but yes. So this is the just for me party, and it's just for you guys. You still have plenty of time. As a matter of fact, you have 37 days. 37 days. That can be done. I mean, a hexacardy can be done in, if you just stick to it, it can be done in like 2 or 3 days. Mine isn't, of course, but it can be. It's possible. But this one, I think, let me know, Marsha, how close are you to finish with yours? I think you said you had one more panel to work up, but I'm like two of Marsha. So for me to work this up as quickly as I did, it's been laying aside for a few days now. So it very well could be done. But and all of mine is half double crochet. All of mine is half double crochet. So it very well can be done in those 37 days. I'm just saying. Now, as far as finished objects, I showed you my beautiful bonnet. I love my bonnet, and I think that's the reason I didn't do my hair today, so I could show you my bonnet. It is a bonnet for real. It is. And I absolutely love it. I can't stand stuff on my head, so for me to put it on and say that I love it and wear it, that is saying a lot. It is. It is saying so much. So, yes. And I also did a corn purse. I think I chose to call it, I forgot. I called it a pretty puffy purse. Pretty puffy purse. Now, I wanted to keep the shape of it. So, what I did was put a scrap ball of yarn in it. But that was just to keep the shape, of course, with the drawstrings. Um, yeah, it's just a cute little corn purse. More of a vintage feel to it. If you remember or looked at some movies where you see the little ladies carrying their little purse with them, and it's got the cute little ruffles at the top, and you know, it's a bonnet, but one can wear it. Yes, yes, yes. they can. You can wear it anywhere you want, really. You really, really can. I mean, yes, it's a bonnet. I know what it is. Would I wear it out? Of course I would. Come on now. We know I'm different anyway. I'm different. Yes, I'm different. Of course. Sure would. I wear this to Walmart. I'd wear it to church if I had to. hmm But yes, those are the two things that I finished for Taco Tuesday. Now, I'm going to skip to reminders because I did bring up Taco Tuesday, and I do have, y'all, please excuse me. That comes from singing this morning. But I do have the link in the description box for the Taco Tuesday playlist on the Juan's channel. So please check that out. This week's Taco Tuesday list. The standing challenge is pick a whip, any whip, and finish it by next Taco Tuesday. I don't know which one I want to finish. I don't. I'm kind of looking at one thinking that might be the one. I don't know yet. We're going to see. And then, of course, the corn purse. This is actually double dipping, and I'll tell you why. The next challenge was gloves. Any kind of gloves, mittens with fingers, fingerless, it doesn't matter. Any kind of gloves you want to make. And then a bowl cozy. I have my bowl. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for a cozy. I don't want to make just a simple cozy. I want to do something kitty style. Y'all know me. I'm a designer and creator. I don't know. And then the other challenge was to make something purple and pink. Yes. So I did that. And the last one was a scrap make. That's where I double dipped. I used my scraps to make this coin purse. So technically, I got three of them done. Three of the one, two, three, four, five, six challenges that were presented. Now, the one that was vetoed was a pink Juan the Yarn Addict or pink JTYA hat. And of course, if you go to his channel, you can look under his playlist, and he has a playlist that has nothing but beanies in it. So you can make hats. You're really making me want to get back into crochet. I hope so. I want you to pick up that hook and get to hooking. Become a hooker with the rest of us. Do that. I love it. I love it. I started, when I was 5 years old. Back then, they didn't have a title for what I was going through. But later in life, I learned that it's called ADHD. And can I be still? No. No. Not even when I'm sleeping. Legs are twitching, arms are moving, I'm acting out my dreams. Yeah, that gets to be scary sometimes. Fortunately, I got a queen size bed, and most of the time I sleep alone. Um, my grandson will come in here with me sometime, and being that he's ADHD, we kind of perform a little ballet because I will sleep across my bed, and he sleeps the right way. So it's like I give him enough room to stretch out. I said, we can't sleep side by side. We can't sleep side by side because he likes to throw his legs across people. So if I put him up there and I sleep down here, then we're good. And see, I'm short enough that my feet only hang off the bed about that much. So I'm getting the leg support. I'm fine with that. But this little booger, and yes, I do call them boogers. He's my little yellow booger, and his sister is my little beige booger. And their mama is my brown booger. They're my boogers. So yes, those are the challenges for Taco Tuesday. I did not list them this time. Check some of my other lives, and you can find them listed there. I just ran over them with you. If you need to rewind them and write them down, do that. Green Journey, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you along with everyone else. I decided this month that I want to do something every month. I personally want to challenge people every month to do something. So we know about December. Yes, I'm skipping the pillow talk. We know about December, and my idea for December, which is to make a pillow every week. It has to be 6 inches at its smallest points or closest points. 6-inch pillow in the square, in the round. If it's a triangle, from top to middle at the bottom. If it's a star, from top to in between the points at the bottom, as long as it's 6 inches. And then one a week. You can buy, okay, I'm going to tell you the easiest way you can do this. If you are like us and every season you go through and change stuff, you can use anything to fill this pillow. You can. We have used shower curtains that we were getting rid of. We have used, and I'm talking the outer, not the inner, not the used inner. I'm talking about the outer. I'm going to tell you a tip about that too, the inner one, remind me. But the outer one, you can fold it up and crochet around it and make it a pillow. If you don't want the hard surface closest, find you some material, soft material or whatever to surround it. You can, if you're going through like washcloths or something, I had some pillows with that around. I think I gave those away. But I had some really cute ones that I made to show the kind of pillows that I made. And you can use washcloths. You can use cut up towels. You can use socks that you can't find pairs to. You can use a lot of things to stuff these pillows. And if you don't want that to come through, get you a piece of cloth to go behind it. Now, the way I make my pillows, I usually make my pattern on the front and make a solid back. In the past, I've done single crochet in the back. I've recently grown to love the half double crochet, so I'm doing a lot with the half double crochet now. So I don't know what those pillows are going to look like, but my challenge to you for November, being that we have 30 days in the month of November, is 10 washcloths / dishcloths. Now, the only rule here is that they have to be, they have to be 8 inches at least 8 inches. Hello, Gail. How are you? Welcome in. But they have to be 8 inches. We're talking about washcloths for the month of November. And they have to be made with cotton. Outside of that, you got free reign. Whatever pattern, whatever size hook, whatever stitch, just one every 3 days. So we're going to make 10 of those for the month of November. They can all be the same. They can all be different. You can make sets of 2 and have 5 sets. You can make 2 sets and have 5 in each. You can mix them up and have 2 sets of 3 and 2 sets of 2, however you want to do it. Just make one every 3 days. That gives you 3 days to work on one. Okay, if you want to sit down and do it all, you say, I'm going to cover these 3 days today, bam, you can do that. But every 3 days, we want to present one washcloth. Okay, so that's our November challenge. And like I said, for December, it's 1 pillow a week. I'm excited and bubbly as well because I did my ASL video today. I told y'all it's coming back. The drawback with that is that you might not get it until the first week in January. I'm restructuring the channel a little bit, and I guess you all can see that in the daily affirmations that I'm putting out. I'm trying to get those out 8 o'clock every morning so that you can start your day with a bright and sunny affirmation. And I want to keep doing that. I want to keep doing it. I got my box that have my affirmations in it. And I just shake it up, reach in, pull out paper, read it, and say a few words. And these videos, guys, I'm telling you, these videos are like 2 minutes and less. It's just a little quick something to get your day started, to let you know how beautiful and how imperfectly perfect and perfectly imperfect you are. And that I love you. Plain and simple. That's what it's all about. And I want you to love you at least as much as I love you. Okay? Okay. So yeah, that's why it might take a while before you see another ASL video. But I'm excited about the first one that I have coming out. Yeah, it felt really good doing it. And I have ideas about editing it and every video that will follow. Thank you, Gail. Thank you so much. You're amazing. But I have, all these plans for it. And I'm hoping that I will be recording a few more tonight to make sure that I have a stockpile. I usually do my affirmations 2 or 3 at a time and just set them up so they'll go and I won't be overloaded with what I have to do. I found ways to work around my issues as far as getting stuff uploaded. Sometimes it's stubborn and it won't transfer from one device to the other. So I found a backdoor way of putting it out there. You don't get all the fancy frilly. You just get the raw video, but it beats nothing, So I'm looking at that. Whew. Okay. Now, other future plans are pretty much the same. Um, I did pick this up last night because I tucked it under something. And whenever I was showing my whips, I was not showing this. But this is I think I called it the large. Yeah, this was a large market bag that I'm working on. This is a cotton blend that I got. This was a surprise Happy Meal that I got. And I got this yarn and it's so pretty. It is so pretty. Let me put it under the light. Maybe you can see it better. But it is orange and green and brown and absolutely beautiful. How about, I don't know what to do with this light, y'all. I don't know what to do with this light, but I love this yarn. I use like this slate blue at the bottom. This is cotton and acrylic at the bottom. All of it is Temu yarn. All of it is Temu yarn, and I love Temu yarn. I do. I think it's the greatest. And another whip that I don't know if Joan is here or not, because if she was, she'd fuss at me. So I hang my head in shame now, because I'm not supposed to be starting anything else. But I started this about 7 o'clock. Yeah. So I got 14 rounds done in an hour. So, I was crocheting. I was focused and I was crocheting. Why did I start this? Because I had the idea that you could start and do a granny square using the foundation method, using, how you create your foundation row. So I did that with the double crochet and I made my first little round using that foundation row method. And I told myself I'm going to add a couple of more rounds to see what it looks like. And that couple of rounds ended up being 14. So, of course, what's going to happen tonight? What's going to happen tonight is I'm going to pick another color. That looks good. It's a little messy, but it looks good. It looks like a color that's screaming, use me. So that will be my next color that I add. As it gets bigger, of course, I'm going to need a little more. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually 2 of these balls rolled together. I frogged something and it was being worked and I didn't want to cut it. So I just kind of wrapped it up. But this is going to be next. I don't know how many rounds it's going to get me, but I'll crochet it down until I get a little ball that I can add to this little ball. The significance of this little ball is there are 4 colors in here. Beneath this one is the green that's in the middle. Beneath that one is the brown that's in the middle of this bag. And all the way at the bottom is this like cream color. So there are 4 colors in here. So I've got to make the ball as little as possible. Or, when I get down to the point where I can't complete the last round. I don't want to get any more. My focus was to get rid of a lot of the scrap yarn, hence the jar. But you know what, guys? I don't know. I'm looking at the fact that I got 2 blues in here and I'm finishing this in blue. I might be able to I might be able to get an entire round out of this, being that these two are the same. Yeah, these two together might give me another round. So that might be 2 rounds of my glue, and then I can add those to that ball as well. We shall see. Yes, we shall see. And then, of course, I have this tan. I know that this brown won't go. I don't know. God. This might give me a round, but I'd have to use it right now because if it gets any bigger, I don't think it'll make the round. I don't really want to play yarn chicken though. I've been really lucky with yarn chicken here lately. I don't want to keep pushing it. I don't want to keep pushing it. So we'll see. We will definitely see. And you all will see Tuesday what the decision is. You'll definitely see what the decision is. And I know there was something that said, oh yeah. The hack about the inside shower curtain. Okay, so you know how a lot of people change theirs out every month. There's a way you can save that even longer. I don't care how inexpensive it is. Most of the time, it's that soap buildup that you get across the bottom of that shower curtain that makes you change it. Well, what I do when I take my shower, which is twice a day every day, when I take my shower, what I do is after I rinse me off, I rinse down my wall, I rinse down my rails, I rinse down my handicap seat, and I rinse down my shower curtain, that inner shower curtain, completely. Because most of the stains that you get are soap. It's that soap scum buildup. And if you rinse that completely away, it will give your shower curtain lining a little more life. I'm just saying. And, twice a week you go in there with the disinfectant spray and spray everything down. Just a little hack, just a little something that you can try. Like I said, we're facing hard times, guys. And for a lot of us out here, it is already there. There was a video that I watched earlier that I really want a lot of people to see. So I'm going to, if I remember it, y'all know my mind. But if I remember it, I'm going to go back and find it. And I'm going to put the link, under my community post because it was talking about the fact that, when people ask the question about why homeless people can't go back to their families. And in essence, it was one part that hit me. I left my family and became homeless for 6 months. I was very much at a different stage in my life. Would I do it now? If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. Excuse me, guys. But I was 27, 28 years old. I know you like most crochets. We never sleep. Gail, I am guilty of literally crocheting in my sleep. My daughter has come in and taken projects out of my hand because I will lay down anytime and crochet. Um, I have a problem. I have an ulcer. I have a not an ulcer. I have a hernia. I, I it's a hernia, and it interferes with my eating. So every time I eat, and it's gotten to the point now, it doesn't matter what I eat, how little I eat, whatever, it causes discomfort. So I have to lay down for that discomfort to go away. And what I'm doing when I'm laying down, I'm stretching. to try to relieve some of that choking of the small intestines, because it's the small intestines and lower part of the stomach. That part of my abdominal wall that's been compromised. So that's what's being pinched. But at any rate, when I lay down, most of the time I end up going to sleep. And I wish I could get my daughter to release that video to me so I could show y'all. I was literally snoring and crocheting. And she came and took the work away from me. I do crochet in my sleep. As a matter of fact, I think I have a short showing that. I do. I think I have a short showing that I do crochet in my sleep. I don't think I actually had the project in my hand on the hook. I think just my hands were moving because I do it so much. And you're right. It's like once you start something like this started as just that simple little idea. And y'all, I wish you all could see how cute that little circle looks. But it just started as that little bitty idea. And this is what it grew to in an hour. And I see me right now sitting here looking at TV and just getting lost. It's a granny square. We all get lost doing a granny square. Yes. And Green, I want to encourage you, even if the dishcloths are granny squares, please, 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 for me. But yeah, I do crochet in my sleep. I do. I do. Trying to remember if there was. Oh, y'all, I had a quote for you all for today, and I did not put it in the description box. I apologize for that. I just thought about it, but it says, do one thing every day that scares you. And that's by Eleanor Roosevelt. Do one thing every day that scares you. I think for the rest of my life, I could find a spider every day and step maybe a 16th of an inch closer to it because they terrify me. I am severely arachnophobic. And it's so strange. I respect snakes, but I am terrified of spiders and frogs. Jen, thank you. I understand. I had choir rehearsal today, and my body's kind of feeling it too. I know you can hear it in my voice. But yeah, I understand. But I'm glad you popped in. Thank you. But yeah. So do one thing that scares you. I don't know. Telling me I have to go to bed scares me. I feel like I'm missing stuff. I'm worse than a child. I am. Oh my goodness. One thing that scares me. I don't know. I don't fear too much. I don't. Maybe I could try to meet a new neighbor. People scare me. Y'all, let me tell you, it was so funny today. So there was a discrepancy in the weather. The one that we got on our phone was more accurate. It said that it was 59 degrees when we first got in the truck. And the closer we got to our destination, it got up to 60. So when we passed by the fire station closest to our destination, it said 74 degrees. We looked at each other and we're like, no. So when we got inside the church temperature said 63. And I told my daughter, I said, it's actually warmer in here than it is outside. She's like, Mama, we're talking about cold. And I love cold. I'd rather be cold than hot. That's just me. So moving on and looking at that discrepancy, and I was telling her I think it read that because the sun was beaming directly on it. And I think it was taking the temperature of the box as opposed to the temperature outside. So we got through that. We go to Sam's Club. I'm riding around in the scooter, and she decides she wants grapes. Yeah. And I don't know if y'all know how Sam's Club is set up, but the grapes are in a refrigerated area. I mean, all of these different kind of fruits were in this cold room. So I decided I was going to go in the room after her. And I did one of these. And she said, Mom, I saw your breath go all the way across the room. I'm like, I'm sure you did. So I tell you what's going to happen. You stay in here as long as you need to. I got to leave. And she's like, Mama, you don't get cold. I said, you're right. And I wonder why that is. By this time, I'm sitting by the rotisserie thing. I am propped up on the rotisserie section because there was nothing up there but ribs. It was up in the far corner. So I'm sitting here and I'm propped up. And I said, I think I'm immune to cold because I grew up in a funeral home. I think that might be why. Sounds logical, huh? Yeah, I grew. I did. My grandfather was a mortician, so I grew up in Hamilton's funeral home. That's why I say people scare me. Bodies don't, but people do. And I got out of that. For those of you who don't know, when I was 4 years old, my grandfather was teaching me not to be afraid of the dead, and because I had been at the funeral home so much, he didn't think, and it could have ended up so much worse. But we're talking about back in the 60s, okay, when things like this were not considered any form of child abuse, and it wasn't. The only way it affected me is that I like cold now. But it was the 4th of July season, I would say. I don't think it was weekend. I think it was a weekday. And they had 11 bodies in the cold room. And my grandfather went out there to look at the latest arrivals. And he left before I did, turning off the light and locking the door. And I beat walls. I stayed on the wall. I was beating the wall and crying and screaming and screaming and crying. And when you turn the light off, I call it a blue light, but it was actually a black light, but it came on. Y'all, there were 4 bodies that did not get their last breath until I was locked up in that room. And I don't know if my beating and banging caused it. When you hear people say, no, this does not actually happen. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's either that last exhale and not everybody does it. It's random when it happens. That last exhale or that last tense or kick or whatever. But what I got was an exhale, a little rattle from a baby. 2 were babies and 2 were adults. Somebody's hand dropped. And then the man that kind of sat up. And when the little one did this, it was a baby. So it's like the last little poo. Those were the 2 that got to me. But all in all, when I stopped screaming, my grandfather opened the door and he asked me very firmly but lovingly, now, did anybody hurt you? And I've always been a thoughtful person. And I went into that thoughtful mode and I was like, no. And he said, those are not the ones you need to fear. You need to fear these people out here walking around. They can do you more harm than they can. And guess what, y'all? Granddaddy was right. And I know it sounds morbid, but I am so grateful for that lesson because it helped me when my son passed. I was able to keep a level head and call the people who needed to be called. It helped me when my mom passed. I held her hand as she took her last breath. So, and do I miss these people? Of course I do. I really, really do. But I wasn't afraid in those moments. Upset, happy, even angry, all the emotions that you go through, but fear was not one of them. So I am so grateful for that lesson. Like I said, when I tell it, sometimes people are like, "Oh my God, I know that must have scarred you for life." No, it helped me in so many ways because I handle a lot of situations. I notice now when things come my way, it has even helped me with my crocheting. It's something about a challenge that makes me push harder. And when I push harder, my first instinct is to calm down and push through because I can't make anything happen when I'm tense. So that's what that moment did for me. Lots of times when people are panicking and, just going, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" I'm that calming voice that says, "Okay, breathe. Let's breathe." I get panicked after stuff is happening. I do, y'all. I cut this washing dishes. Um, I dropped a plate, and we have very deep sinks back in North Carolina. And the sink was almost filled with dishwater. And as the plate, I thought I was going to catch it before it hit. As soon as it tapped the bottom of the sink, it just split right into, and it went right in here and ripped. So I had to get stitches around in there, right there in the webbing of the hand. And when I saw it, I was like, okay. I grabbed the dishcloth or the dish towel right away and wrapped it up. And I went to my grandmother's room and I'm like, "Grandma, I am getting ready to go to the emergency room." I cut my hand and she said, "Let me see it." I said, "Hold on." I went and got another towel and I removed that towel so she could see it. And she was like, "Oh my," I said, "Breathe, breathe." I'm going to the emergency room and I'm going to get the stitches that I need. I'm going to be fine. And I was fine until the doctor put the last stitch in. And then I was like, "Oh, I just got my hand." Y'all, you would have thought it had just happened. I am so serious. But it's the same with when I'm crocheting. And another thing about me and challenges, I relax so much when I say the word challenge to myself that, especially the 24-hour challenges that I try to do. Okay, y'all, I'm up. I've had sleep. I got my coffee. I'm going to see how much I can do in 24 hours. That's when I get some of my best sleep. Make it make sense. I am hilarious just by myself. I am. I am. I really, really am. But yes, I am going to try to remember to post that video I was telling you about my homeless venture. And it's not sad. I was 28 years old. My mom had rules in her house, and I wasn't happy with her rules. I could not understand why a 28-year-old woman with kids had to be in, by 11 o'clock, could not be on the phone after 11 o'clock, only had 15 minutes on the phone at, at a time, and couldn't have company but 2 days a week. And they could only come in 1 day a week. I got the hiccups. I know that's not happening. But I didn't want to, excuse me, I didn't feel like I could agree with that. It wasn't setting right with me. So I left. I had nowhere to go. I had me in my car. I think part of it was I thought I was proving a point to my mom. But the other part of it was a growing phase in my life. I learned a lot. I learned to respect other people's places. I did. Um, because having a roof over my head was very important. I did not take my children with me, no. I've always tried to be a responsible parent. Um, I did leave them in the best care with my mom, and I came back home every day and made sure they had their snack, but I stayed home long enough just for them to get their snack, and I would leave again. But yeah, I did not agree with her rules. So I left and I stayed out for 6 months. Um, Tires being flattened, police running me away from sleeping in my car, parked on a public street, um, all kinds of things. I used to do things like I worked. I worked. I also donated plasma. So I could always keep gas in my car. I could always get back and forth to work. Um, but as far as eating, I was trying to save money. So on the days that I was off, I would go to CC's Pizza early in the day. And when they opened up, CC's had the $5 buffet. I would get me a cup of Pepsi or root beer. And I'd get a slice of pizza. And I would make that slice of pizza last for as close to an hour as possible. And then I would go get the second slice and piddle over that for about an hour. And I would end up getting anywhere between 4 to 6 slices of pizza, just like nibbling, 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 you know, sit there for a long period of time and not nibble and write or crochet or whatever, and then, take another bite. And I'm grateful for the proprietors because I was never run away, you know, um, never did I run away. But I'm thankful for a lot of what other people would think were bad experiences in my life because it taught me so much. And even though, we go through our bad moments, I think one of the things we are supposed to do as a people is look at those situations and learn from them. And I'm grateful for the lessons that I've been taught in my life. I have gained so much strength and knowledge from the bad. I find that I never thought that I would be happy being single. Younger coming up, I got too much love to give. But after going through the round ones, round twos, round threes, every facet of abuse I went through, every facet, and there are none that are any worse than others. There are none that are any better than others. When a person tears you down psychologically, mentally, environmentally, yes, it can be done. When they take you out of your element into their own, when people gaslight you, when people, oh my goodness, there's just so much, and now in the single era of my life, I have so much peace. I have so much peace. And I know that I'm not going to do that to me. And when I give my affirmations, it comes from a place that's not typical in people. It comes from the hurt that I have endured in my life. I do not want anybody, I don't want anybody to go through, experience, or feel that. And if it means I get up and I do videos every day to tell you how beautiful you are, how intelligent you are, how important you are, how worthy you are, how much you are enough, I will do that because I think all of us deserve that happiness. So now you know the why. I tell y'all all the time, There's a method to my madness. And I want to give people that happiness from this point forward. If they haven't had it in their life, I'm here to give it to you. If you have it, here's a little bit more. If you've never had it, here I am. Yeah, I get real passionate about that. I do. Because I love you all, and those are not just words. That's real. So, because I don't want this to get any more down than it is. Whew. I'm going to tell y'all at this point that I want you to remember to be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again in these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.